Summer has officially begun, and the long, hot days make me crave cool, refreshing dishes like gazpacho, the quintessential tomato-based summer soup.
Working on a river. Working on a river. Working on a river. Working on a river.
This is Laurel Goodman, who is currently an AmeriCorps Vista volunteer serving with the Columbia Farmers Market and the Missouri River Bluffs Association in Columbia, Missouri. Laurel also teaches acrobatic yoga, and her Kona cross bike is her primary mode of transportation. In fact, after completing a bike tour across Southeast Asia in 2011, she flew home only to set off on a 77-day, 3,800-mile bicycle ride across the U.S. from coast to coast. In her spare time, she likes to make fresh, healthy meals with the produce she brings home from the market every week, and this gazpacho is one of her summer favorites. So what's the secret to making a killer gazpacho?
Well, my secret, Laura, is buying farmers market fresh ingredients. I love going to my local farmers markets on Saturday mornings, and this past Saturday I picked up some tomatoes, some cucumbers, and a couple of these other items here in the bowl have come from some local friends' gardens as well. So I think just using the freshest available ingredients really helps bring out the flavors in the gazpacho.
I asked Laurel to come to my house and show me how she makes her favorite gazpacho. Our first task was to create the tomato broth base. We washed about 10 medium-sized tomatoes, then scored them with a sharp knife, making shallow 1 to 2 inch cuts through the skin. We carefully placed the tomatoes in a pot of boiling water for 30 seconds, then drained and rinsed them under cold water to make them easier to handle. Laurel showed me how easily the skin was peeled back where the tomatoes had been scored, making it a breeze to remove and discard the skin. We cut the tomatoes into quarters, removing the cores, but leaving the seeds as Laurel prefers. If you'd rather seed the tomatoes, that's fine too. Put the peeled and cored tomatoes in a food processor in a couple of batches and puree to create a juice base. Pour the pureed tomatoes into a large bowl. The recipe calls for 1 cup of tomato juice, but Laurel prefers to use real tomatoes to create the juice base. Place the bowl in the refrigerator for an hour or so while you chop the rest of the vegetables. This is a rustic gazpacho with lots of texture, so Laurel prefers to chop the vegetables by hand rather than in the food processor. Peel and coarsely chop the cucumber by hand. Laurel prefers to leave strips of peel in the cucumber for color, or all of the peel if it's tender and not bitter. Seed and coarsely chop the green pepper. Peel and chop the onion. To add texture, Laurel chopped an additional cup or so of fresh, unpeeled tomato to add to the mix. Seed and finely chop the jalapeno pepper, being sure to wash your hands as soon as you've finished. Peel and mince the garlic. Cut the lemons in half and juice them, being careful to separate out the seeds. Once your vegetables are prepped and your tomato juice base is well chilled, remove the bowl of pureed tomatoes from the refrigerator and add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, stirring to combine. The soup should have a fairly thin, silky texture at this point, so add a little water to thin the soup base if needed. Now you can add all of the chopped ingredients and stir well. Before you put the cutting board away, you can prep the garnish veggies too. Mince a little red onion and tear or chop some cilantro and arugula into small pieces. Set those vegetables aside for later. You might want to add the jalapeno pepper in stages, just to be sure you like the level of heat. Stir in the lemon juice, then add salt and pepper to taste. Allow the soup to chill for another hour at least. When it's time to serve, dish it up into bowls and top with a bit of the minced onion, cilantro, arugula, and a few crumbles of goat cheese, and serve cold. It's summer in a spoon. Be sure to join us for the next episode of Mo Deep Roots, your Mid-Missouri guide to local food.
Working on a river. Work.